absolute momentum that you have right now and pull your way through and push your way through this particular year. And so really, here's what I want to talk to you about. And what I want to talk to you about tonight is really about the importance of making sure that you're laying down a foundation. You see, I believe that we live in a microwave type of society. You see, everybody wants it now. You understand? People want to go ahead and bypass the course, bypass the process, and they want to make it to the finish line. You ask people, well, how fast would you like to lose weight? And they'll tell you like tomorrow. You ask people, well, when would you like to find your spouse? They'll tell you like yesterday. When you tell people, well, how would you like your business to grow? They'll tell you at lightning speed. And so everybody wants to lose weight. Everybody wants to have a phenomenal relationship. Everybody wants to make more money. Everybody wants to have greater fulfillment and live a purposeful life. But what I'm trying to make you understand is all of these different areas in your life, finances, including your personal relationships, including your dreams and your goals and the things that you're pursuing, all the different areas in your life, including your spirituality, every single one of those areas in your life is going to require that you make an investment and begin to lay down the foundation. You're going to have to put in some work. You're going to have to put in the work way before anybody around you begins to see any type of results, and oftentimes before you even get an opportunity to see any results. And what happens is, if you want to bypass laying down the foundation, if you're trying to hurry up and speed through and make it to the finish line and begin to see results and fruit in different areas in your life without laying a solid foundation, unfortunately, guess what happens? It comes and it goes. And if you don't believe me, let's just go ahead and look at the statistics. Statistics show that 70% of people who win the lottery within 5 years will go ahead and be financially bankrupt. They will be back at the position that they were before they won the lottery. I'm talking about people who win millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. How could 70% of the people who actually win the lottery within 5 years go back to a position in which they are financially bankrupt, where they find themselves in a more difficult financial situation than they were before they even won the lottery? You say, how is that possible? It's inconceivable in many ways. I remember one of my cousins used to just be blown away by that statistic. He used to ask me all the time, Andy, how is that possible? How can someone win 20 million, 40 million, 60 million, $100 million, and you mean to tell me that that person can go ahead and become financially bankrupt in 5 years? What did they do with all the money? And here's what I always share with him, and here's what I want to share with you. What happens is, when those people come into a large sum of money, if they haven't taken the time to lay down the financial foundation, if they don't fully understand money, if they haven't laid down the financial foundation and surrounded themselves with the right type of account, surround themselves with the right type of financial planner, surround themselves with the right type of attorney, if they haven't laid a foundation and start to create barriers between them and all their family and the friends, all the people who are going to be asking them for money, if they don't take the time to establish a solid foundation and get their mind to expand to the place in which their money is, if their mind remains at the same place, so you have somebody who has a $15,000 annual year mindset and you just gave them $15 million, if they don't lay the foundation to expand their mindset, eventually the money will come back to meet their mindset. And so what it means is that they have to take the time to invest in themselves and fully lay down a solid financial foundation. Now, this doesn't just apply to finances. Why is it then that 95%, I want you to realize this, go ahead and look it up, 95% of people who go on a diet end up gaining the weight back, and oftentimes they not only gain the weight back, but they gain even more weight back. So that means literally only 5% of people who go on a diet actually keep the weight off, and 95%, which means the great majority of people, will go ahead and gain the weight back. Why does that happen, you ask? How could that happen? A diet is a quick solution. A diet is just a really, really quick approach to a final outcome. And so what happens oftentimes is, in attempting to just have a diet, what they fail to do is actually lay down a foundation. What they fail to do is to make a complete transformation from the inside out. What they fail to do is really start thinking about and dealing with the underlying issues that have to deal with the excessive weight, the underlying issues such as the way that they view and perceive themselves, the underlying issues such as what it is that they choose to eat on a daily basis, or their underlying issues such as whether or not they choose to exercise on a consistent basis. In other words, they need to lay a foundation in which they transform their entire lifestyle to accommodate the actual weight loss that they're looking to have. And when they skip that process, when they fail to lay down the foundation, guess what happens? They gain the weight back, and oftentimes they gain it back and even more. And so what I'm saying is, I'm not saying to you that what I'm implying and what I'm sharing with you is easy. But what I need you to understand is that all too often we're going after our goals, we're going after our dreams. We want to have more financial independence. We want to strengthen our spirituality. We want to have more fulfilling relationships. We want to make more income. We want to lose the weight. Regardless of what's on your list, understand that every single aspect of your life is going to require that, first of all, that you take your time and actually lay down the foundation. You see, because what happens is when you fail to lay down a foundation, what happens is very easily the house that you build, the structure that you're looking to build, the business that you're looking to build, the relationship that you're looking to build, the moment that it gets tested, the moment that it gets hit by a storm, it will crumble. It will collapse. My wife and I were just absolutely blown away. We're just sort of looking. And every day we really just thank God, because we understand that it's only by the grace of God and the fact that we have taken the time to lay down the foundation that we don't find ourselves also being a statistic. And so we don't believe for a moment that we are exempt from this. But we're sort of blown away, having literally just celebrated only our 2-year anniversary. And we sort of reflect back and we're blown away about there. We know several people that got married within a year of us getting married. And so maybe perhaps they got married a year after us, or maybe they got married a year before us, or maybe perhaps they got married right around our time. And we're just blown away at the amount of people that we're aware of that got married within a year of us getting married and have already had a divorce. And we're blown away, and we're trying to figure out, we're saying, well, what happened there? And I can tell you a sure tell sign in many of their cases, when we've had the privilege of gaining a little bit of insight and understanding what took place, what happened is they bypassed doing some work on the front end. You see, they didn't take the time to lay a solid foundation, to make sure that they were equally yoked, to make sure that they had the same spiritual views, to make sure that they had the same views around finances, to make sure that they had the same views when it came to raising their kids and what their lifestyle would look like, to make sure that they had the right values and that they had the same and similar vision. And so what happened is they didn't take the time to lay down a foundation. You know, I joke about this all the time, but when my wife and I were actually dating, she actually convinced me during the dating process to attend a marriage conference. And I remember walking in there and saying, man, this is ridiculous. We're just dating. Everybody in here is married. And here we are, we're at this marriage conference. But I tell you, I'm so grateful, because what we were doing is we were laying down the foundation for our marriage. And there are so many things that from that marriage conference and many of the other things that we laid down as part of foundation, like being part of a small group that we actually facilitated. We became a small Bible group through our church of other individuals that are also married individuals that have similar values and beliefs as we do. And we bounce things through each other, and we go through studies and we share different things with each other. All these things that we've done is just simply laying down the foundation. And so what happens is, just like any relationship, as it gets tested, and just like anything that you're looking to build, a business or any kind of dream that you're aspiring after, at some point it will be tested. And what will determine whether or not you stand the test will oftentimes be based off of the foundation that you've created and how solid is your foundation. And when you bypass the process of setting and laying down your foundation, when your foundation has not even been set, or maybe perhaps when your foundation has tons of cracks in it, because you haven't taken the time to really truly invest in it, then what happens is the moment that you are tested, it begins to fall. And so what I'm saying to you is this, is that anything that you're looking to grow in your life, any area in your life that you're looking to grow, I'm going to challenge you to get seriously serious about laying down a steady foundation, a solid foundation, the type of foundation that can withstand pressure, the kind of foundation that can withstand you building and going up many levels, the type of foundation that you can go ahead and bring others along and also be able to not just support your own weight, but support the weight of other people around you. And so I'm going to challenge you to slow down for a moment, Stop trying to rush to the outcome. Stop trying to get to the finish line. Everybody wants to have quick success. Everybody wants great things to happen in a short amount of time. Listen, I tell you, I've got to fight that as well. But what I'm saying to you is that if you want to have longevity, if you want to have staying power, if you want to be able to have things be able to grow and not have a flash pan type of success, then what I'm saying to you is you want to take the time to start laying down and building the foundation. My wife and I, we live very close to an area in which there are acres upon acres upon acres that were previously a golf course that has been acquired by a real estate development company. And so this real estate development company acquired this golf course over 6 months ago. And everybody in the area has been asking, well, when are they going to start building the homes? But what they're not paying attention to is that this developer has been doing a tremendous amount of work. And you say, well, Andy, what kind of work have they been doing? You see, they've been laying down the foundation. You see, they went in on the land and they started to remove trees and debris and rocks and things that could possibly affect the land and not allow for there to be a solid foundation. Old structures and things that were there that were no longer going to contribute to what it was, they went and they demolished those things. They took them apart. They went ahead and brought new soil to the ground, new solid soil. They raised the elevation. They began to go ahead and start building the infrastructure for a drainage system. And now they're starting to map out and plot out the different areas in which they're going to continue to now begin to start pouring the concrete and lay the foundation. You see, that took months. And see, if they were to bypass that process and just go ahead on uneven land, begin to start constructing homes, then I could tell you this: number one, they wouldn't sell very many homes. And number two, they'd have a whole bunch of people getting ready to sue them because those homes would have been poorly constructed and many of those homes would begin to collapse and fall. And so what people don't realize, it's not glitzy, it's not glamorous, it's not good looking, but it's necessary to the process. It's one of those things that we absolutely have to do. You've got to lay down the foundation. You've got to be willing to do the work. And what I need you to understand, for those of you who have aspirations to elevate your game, to take things to the next level in your business, in your careers, what I need you to understand is, mark this on your calendar, this right now, that part of laying down the foundation is you have to invest in yourself. You have to begin to make true investments. Stop trying to feed off of just free items. Listen, free seminars, free teleseminars, free ebooks, free content on the internet. That's all good and dandy, but that's not going to get you to lay down a solid foundation. That's not going to get you to where you want to be. A lot of the stuff that you're getting for free is only the tip of the iceberg of whoever is providing that content or that information has to offer you. And oftentimes what you're getting is just some sloppy leftovers. It's just a little bit of tidbit here and there. If you want to take things to the next level, you need to stop avoiding it and you need to start investing in yourself. In other words, you got to get uncomfortable and start paying the money. And so we're talking about, if you want to go ahead and increase in your finances, then what it may mean is that you have to go ahead and invest and get yourself a financial planner. If you want to go ahead and lose the weight, then you may have to invest and go ahead and get yourself a dietitian, a personal trainer. If you want to go ahead and be able to start taking your game to the next level, then it may mean that you need to hire a personal coach. If you want to be able to be a phenomenal storyteller, then it may mean that you have to hire a storyteller coach. Hey, that's my own little personal plug for those of you who want to become phenomenal storytellers. But what I'm saying to you is, what I need you to understand is that you need to actually make sure that you need to stop trying to resort. Listen, it's great that you're getting access to free content, free information, but understand this: the education costs. It costs you something, but understand this: it will pay for itself. And part of laying down a solid foundation means that you need to start making the investment in whatever area in your life that you're looking to grow. And you need to find people who are experts in those areas, people who have gone ahead and gone before you and have done the work, and make the investment, because it is going to pay you back tenfold. And all you're doing every time you avoid making an investment, every time you avoid investing in yourself, all you are doing is delaying your growth. You see, the reason why I bring that up, because as a coach, as a speaker, there are many people that I know when I speak to them and they tell me, Andy, I'll speak to you next year, and perhaps next year I'll do this coaching program. Next year I'll get the coaching. And then what happens is the next year, if we run into each other, they come up with another excuse, and then they said, well, next year. And then what happens is every single year, there begins to be a greater gap and a separation between where they are and where it is that they want to be. And the reason why is because every single time they avoid laying down the foundation. They avoid investing in themselves. And what they do ultimately is, guess what? They delay their destiny. They delay the very thing that they're looking to make happen and make accomplished. And so I'm going to challenge you to begin to start laying down the foundation in your personal life. I want you to lay down the foundation in those relationships in your life that mean the most to you. And so for those of you who are married, for those of you, maybe perhaps you're not married, but for friendships and family members, those relationships that mean the most to you, understand that in order for those relationships to maintain and strive, you're going to have to lay down a very solid foundation so that when those relationships get tested, they can withstand it. And for those of you who are hoping to build a business, or you're hoping to pursue your goals and your dreams, you're going to have to make sure you lay a foundation for those things. And much of laying the foundation means getting the work, doing the work. It's going to mean seeking out experts and people in your field. It's going to mean that you're pouring into yourself and you're getting the products and the CDs and the coaching, the things that are necessary so that you can expand your mindset. And so ultimately also so that you can expand your skill set so that you can actually be able to take things to an entirely different level. It's something that you have to understand. And so what we want to do oftentimes is we want to bypass the process and we just want to try to look good. But what happens is there's a lot of people who look good, but what happens is they're standing on a very, very weak foundation. In other words, there are some people that they put on a great facade, and if you looked at them on the exterior, they got name brand, they've got the fancy items and so forth, and you would think, looking on the outside, that they've got a solid foundation, and what you find out is that everything is for show, and they actually have a very weak, very, very weak financial foundation. There's some people that you look and you're looking at their social media and you're looking at the things that they're posting and you're thinking that they have solid relationships with people. But what you're failing to realize is all that they're doing is snapping pictures with people that they don't even really know and posting it on social media. And so what they need to do is stop trying to show and display that they know certain people or make it appear a certain way and start actually investing in actually building true relationships. Relationships that are developed offline, relationships that are developed without Facebook, without Twitter, without Instagram, relationships that take time and listening and investing in one another and making sacrifices in order for them to be able to elevate. And so what I need you to understand is this, is that you can either continue to try to put on a facade or you can begin to lay down the foundation. You see, I heard something very long ago and I want to share with you. And here's what it said. They said, be more concerned about your character than you are about your reputation. And it continues by saying this, that reputation is who people think you are. They think that you're making great things happen. They think that you're a great mother. They think that you're a great father. They think that you're a great businessman or a great businesswoman. They think that you are really into fitness and making great things happen. But they said, be less concerned about your reputation because, see, your reputation is who people think that you are. But they said that you want to invest your time, your energy, and your effort in building your character because that is who you really are. And let me tell you something, to build character, it requires laying down a whole lot of foundation. It requires making decisions even when people can't see it. It requires you actually doing things and making the right decisions even when those decisions are going to cost you. It requires you actually making the right decisions even when you don't have an audience or anyone to give you a round of applause and tell you how amazing that you are. And so I'm going to challenge you to start laying different foundations in your life so that you can build up your character, so that you can build up your business, so that you can build yourself up personally, so that you can build up your relationship, so that you can build yourself up physically and health-wise. And I'm just hoping that you're going to just remove yourself from this mindset, this quick mindset that everyone has bought into, or let me not say everyone, that many people have bought into. And I want to challenge you to slow it down for a moment and start getting seriously serious about laying down the foundation. So let me challenge you right now for a moment. I want you to think about an area in your life in which you want to grow, an area in your life in which you want to develop. And I want you to ask yourself an honest question. I want you to ask yourself the question of, have you laid a foundation that has staying power? Have you laid the kind of foundation so that your marriage has staying power? Have you laid the kind of foundation so that your business has staying power? Have you laid the kind of foundation so that your career has staying power? Have you laid the kind of foundation so that your health regimen and that your weight loss has staying power? Have you built the kind of regimen and laid the foundation so that everything that you're pursuing in life is going to have staying power? Or do you have a lot of cracks in your foundation? Or better yet, or maybe perhaps you've even skipped laying the foundation. And if you were to be battle tested, if you were to go through a storm, if someone were to come in and begin to shake your house, this house that you're building, whatever that thing is, your business, your relationships, whatever it is, would it be able to stand the test of time? Have you built it on soft soil? Have you built it on the sand where when the storm comes, it's just going to go ahead and fall down? Or have you taken the time to go ahead and dig down deep, dig deep internally, dig deep in your character and lay down some serious cement so that you can go ahead and build something that is on solid ground so that when it is hit, it can withstand the test of time. So that when it is hit, you can go ahead and still be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, wait a second, I'm going to continue to push forward. And so I'm challenging you this moment right now to begin to start building a new foundation in your life, to begin to build the kind of foundation that is going to stand the test of time. And so I'm a firm believer that this is, in fact, your time. I've already declared it. You've heard me talk about it, that this is the year of expansion. But in order for you to expand, you have to lay the foundation and begin to make room so that you can expand in your life. You have to begin to clear the space. You have to begin to surround yourself with the right people. You have to begin to do the internal work. In other words, you have to lay down the right foundation so that you can go ahead and cultivate an environment that is going to be able to sustain, an environment that is going to be able to withhold growth. And there are many people who, even if they were to get lucky and unfortunate and had something that happened in which their business, their careers, or something really amazing happened to them and put them on a super fast speed of trajectory, oftentimes most of them would burn and crumble. And the reason why is because they haven't laid the kind of foundation that can withstand a significant amount of growth. And trust me on this conversation I'm having with you, I am not exempt from this conversation. Everything that I'm sharing with you are things that I need to apply to my own personal life. The conversation I'm having with you is a conversation I need to have with myself. And so this is a universal conversation. And I'm inviting you right now to begin to slow things down and look at your life and start getting really serious about laying the foundation. And if you also are saying to yourself that this is your year of expansion, then I'm going to go ahead and challenge you to begin to lay down the kind of foundation that is going to be able to withstand and be able to support the level of expansion that you want in your life. And so once again, I want you to get seriously serious about laying down the foundation. And so I need you to begin to invest in yourself. I need you to do the work. I need you to dig deep. And I don't mean that just as a metaphor. When they're building a very tall building, they dig deep into the soil. And when you're going to lay down the foundation, you don't just go in about an inch. You dig deep so that you can make sure that you're really into the ground before you go ahead and actually start laying down your steel beams and your wood and framing it out and pouring in the concrete. And so I'm asking you to dig deep into your personal life, and I want you to dig deep into yourself, and I want you to begin to do the work so that you can lay down the foundation. And if you're willing to do that, you're going to have some staying power. If you're willing to do that, you're going to begin to take things to an entirely different level. All right. Listen, I am so excited. I thank you so much for being part of the Thursday Night Short for Your Life Motivational Movement and live stream. And of course, like always, I want to remind you to show up for your lives, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't show up, if you don't do the work, if you don't lay down the foundation in your life, then guess what? Nobody else will. And so, like always, I want to make a couple of quick announcements before I hand it over to Lewis to open up the conference call line. And so first and foremost, for those of you who are tuning in right now, if you and I are not yet connected, I would love for us to get connected. So make sure you visit one of my websites, which were actually both hacked. I can't believe that, but they were both hacked. But Tiger, my web guy, would manage to get them back up. So I believe that they're up and running now. So you can either go to andyhenriquez.com, andyhenriquez.com, or you can go to showupforyourlife.com. Either one of those websites, go there and you will see a place where you can go ahead and opt in and be able to connect with me. But most importantly, it's going to give me an opportunity to continue to connect with you, share videos with you, share content with you that I believe is going to help you to continue to show up. The other thing is I want to share with you is for those of you who are on Facebook, I want to invite you to join our Facebook community. And so there's a quick way that you can do that. You can open up a separate web browser and you can type in showupgroup.com, showupgroup.com. And when you do that, it's going to give you a shortcut to get over to our Show Up For Your Life group. Right now we have approximately 968 members, and we would love for you to join that group. As a matter of fact, James Harris, shout out to James Harris, just went ahead and asked us to join the group. We just accepted his request to join the group, so we're at 969 right now. I want to give a shout out to James Harris and also Melissa, who I spoke to earlier today, who also recently joined the group. She joined the group last Thursday, but I want to remind you that you can go ahead and join that group, or if you're already in Facebook, you can type in Show Up For Your Life, Show Up For Your Life, and you should see something that pops up. It says Closed Group, and once you find that closed group, you can go ahead and make a request to join the group, and we would gladly go ahead and accept your invitation or your request, rather, to go ahead and join the group. And so we are absolutely looking forward to you joining us with that. And last but not least, I want to go ahead and announce something that I'm pretty excited about. Some of you have already applied, and some of you may or may not know about it, but I have recently launched my Master Storyteller Academy. You say, well, Andy, what is the Master Storyteller Academy? Well, as many of you know, I have many one-on-one clients. I work with authors, speakers, and coaches, professional speakers, and executives, and I help them to be able to come up with their signature story, and I show them how to be able to use their story to be able to attract, notice the word attract, paying customers and clients, to be able to have more influence and have more impact when they have an opportunity to speak in people, and also to be able to build their platform. And so I realized that not everybody is in a financial position to be able to work with me perhaps one-on-one. And so what I decided to do is create a small, intimate group coaching program that is going to take place on a quarterly basis. And so I have officially launched the Master Storyteller Academy. And in the Master Storyteller Academy, I am going to be accepting only 10 individuals that are going to go through a powerful 6-week process with me to be able to work on their stories. Number one, to identify what their signature stories are, figure out how to use their stories in such a way that they can customize their story regardless of who their audience is. They're going to learn the 3 most important aspects to be able to have an influential story. So they're going to learn the story structure to make their story influential and be able to have the level of impact that they want. We're going to build out our story timelines, which is basically when we go through our stories and we identify the aspects of our stories that are most important and the aspects of our stories that perhaps should be eliminated and are not going to be impactful when sharing the stories. They're going to get some practice drills, and also the actual Master Storyteller Academy is going to actually end with a live event. And so the final week, week 6, is going to be a live event in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where all 10 individuals are going to get an opportunity to actually practice sharing and delivering their story, and also receive live feedback from me, and also have that recorded so that they have something tangible that they have of themselves sharing the story and also getting some feedback. This is a phenomenal opportunity for those of you who would love to take your storytelling to the next level. Of course, there is an investment involved, and if you are interested in applying so that we can have a conversation offline so you can get the details as to when we're going to start the program so that you can know how many seats are left for the program and what the investment is. All you need to do is go to masterstorytelleracademy.com. I'm going to say that one more time. masterstorytelleracademy.com. Everything spelled out properly. masterstorytelleracademy.com. So when you get there, you will go ahead and get some information, and you will also see a place where you can go ahead and apply very quickly. Very, very quick application. You will simply put your name, email address, and telephone number, and as to why you would like to be a part of this program. And someone from my office will contact you within 48 hours to go ahead and get you scheduled to either speak to myself or one of my team members that's going to provide you with all the details for the Master Storyteller Academy. So we're super excited about that and looking forward to that. So with that being said, before we go ahead and jump offline, we're going to go ahead and open up the conference call line. I'm going to go ahead and put my phone right now on speakerphone. Excellent.
All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
Excellent. So I've got the phone now on speakerphone, and so what it means is that for those of you who are on the conference call line, you are going to be able to unmute yourself by pressing *6. And it also, the reason why I put my phone on speakerphone is so that the people who are listening in right now via the live stream, perhaps through my speakerphone, will be able to hear a few of the question, comments, or feedback from the people who are joining us via the actual conference call line. So for those of you who are joining me right now via the conference call line, I will go ahead and stick around for a couple of quick questions or comments, or if you just want to tell me any value that you received from tonight's message, you got a quick question for me, comment, or feedback, press *6 to unmute your line. We'd love to hear from you. Press *6 to unmute your line. And let me say this. I know those of you who are viewing via the live stream, I do apologize that we don't really have the interactive aspect. But, you know, you can go ahead and always be able to post a question or a comment for me